For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Nashville is in mourning after a mass school shooting yesterday morning killed 7 people, including 3 elementary school children, 3 school workers, and the suspected assailant. Police identified the shooter at the private Christian Covenant school as a former student, 28-year-old Audrey Hale, who went to the school armed with 2 assault-style weapons and a pistol, according to Police Chief John Cooper.
There were maps drawn of the school in detail of surveillance, entry points, etc. We know and believe that entry was gained through shooting through one of the doors is how they actually got into the school.
Assault weapons are the choice for many mass shooters in the U.S. It's a fact not lost on a mother who happened to be visiting from Illinois. She survived the Highland Park parade mass shooting last year and took to microphones ahead of a news conference to say she'd had enough.
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. My son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in Tennessee on a family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws. And these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation.
President Biden addressed the shooting deaths yesterday, calling them sick, and pushed Republicans in Congress to back his proposed federal ban on assault weapons, which expired in 2004. 39 migrants are dead and 29 others injured from a fire at a Mexican immigration detention center near the U.S. border in Ciudad Juarez. It's one of the deadliest incidents ever at an immigration detention facility in the country. The cause is under investigation. Mexico's National Immigration Institute has struggled with overcrowding in its facilities in recent years as the nation has stepped up efforts to stem the flow of migration to the U.S. border under pressure from the U.S. government. Carrie Talbot, director of the Immigration Hub, said the U.S. bears responsibility for pushing migrants back into Mexico to face unsafe conditions. Millions are striking across France against unpopular pension reforms. People chanted, "We are the workers and we will win." All in the strike, all in the struggle. In Paris, striking workers blocked railways. Some 13,000 officers were deployed throughout the country. Video shows police clashing with protesters, and in some cases, protesters throwing bottles at police. It's the latest round of nationwide demonstrations against unpopular pension reforms and President Emmanuel Macron's push to raise France's legal retirement age from 62 to 64. Russia's defense ministry says Moscow test-fired missiles in the Sea of Japan. 2 boats launched a simulated missile attack on a mock enemy warship about 60 miles away. The ministry said the target was successfully hit by 2 Moscow cruise missiles. It's a supersonic anti-ship cruise missile that has conventional and nuclear warhead capacity. It says the exercise took place in the Peter the Great Gulf of the Sea of Japan. A Japanese foreign minister spokesperson says Japan does not plan to lodge a protest, noting the location is considered Russian coast. Victory in Israel against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to overhaul the Supreme Court and weaken its power. After widespread opposition and mass protests in the country, Netanyahu yesterday announced plans to put his proposal on hold. His comments translated by Al Jazeera.
We are not dealing with enemies, but we are all brothers. I'm saying this here, now, today, and in a clear way. We will never accept a civil war. We are about to have a clash within the Israeli society, and we are facing a crisis that is a real threat to the national unity of our people, and it is quite important and it's quite necessary to behave with all responsibility.
The proposal would have allowed lawmakers to override Supreme Court decisions, including deeming Netanyahu unfit to serve in office amidst a corruption trial. And recoveries underway in Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, and Alabama after more than 24 tornadoes tore through the Southwest last week, killing at least 25 people and displacing hundreds others. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.